Boom. What we got today is a Toyota rav4. Don't remember what the year, make, and model is, but first thing you do, you get in there, disable anything on the camera and mirror bracket system. That is the housing that just fell. I just unclipped it. Um, this next piece holds the actual, like a camera lock. It kind of locks it in place. That is the camera itself. And then there's like a small triangular cutout that sits in front of the camera that you also must unhook, and there it goes right there. Nice slow-mo for you. Trying to get better with my editing skills here. But once you have all that detached, then you can start removing the trim pieces. I lift my wipers up if I don't take them off. Sometimes I take them off. Usually I do, but if I'm in a rush, I'll just stand them up. The Toyota rav4 has trim pieces at the bottom, and there's a thick molding on the side that you'll see me cut off here in a second, but that's the trim piece. Then I like to go in with my express tool and cut from the side down. It just makes it easier to run my cold knife blades through. Once you get in there and you start trimming, cutting through the adhesive that's in there, and I'm working my way down here on the bottom. If anyone wonders why there is water being sprayed there, it does not do any damage, but it helps my blade cut through smoothly through the urethane. As you can see here, I'm cutting through the bottom of it. Now this is the molding I was talking about. Since I cut from the side, I can use a pry tool to lift up as I'm doing here. If you don't cut through the side first, it might be a little more difficult to get that up. And once you get it up and get it started, you just roll it down. The top trim piece, I like to cut with a different kind of a blade so I can actually get up under there and get it removed. And everything that you do on one side, you do exactly the same on the other side. So I know you guys probably heard of as above, so below, as to the left, as to the right, or as to the right, as to the left, however you want to say it. This is the cold knife blade that is being pulled through. I usually run two cold knife blades, a short one first to create a guide for the longer one that will follow after, which will be this one here. So you insert, pull. I do a little check just to make sure I have cut through all of the urethane that I did cut on that side. If it doesn't lift up like that, then you're stuck somewhere and you just have to run your blades back through. And like I said, as to the left, to the right, or whatever you do on the driver, you do on the passenger, whatever you do on the passenger, you do on the driver's side. So once again, just cutting through the urethane with the express tool. Started at the side, then cut around to the bottom. And be aware that metal part, if you can see it, that's connected to my blade, watch that because it could damage your dashboard very easily. Now I'm pulling up this other side of this molding that's around the glass. It's very thick, so it'd be very hard to cut through with the cold knife. If you wanted to try to just cut through it, you'd have to be pretty damn strong. So I remove it because I don't lift weights like that, so there's that. And you can see me struggling with it right here, kicking my ass. But don't worry though, we got tools for that. Then I continue to pull my cold knives through the other side to make sure that it's cut. And the cold knife itself, the blade itself, is shaped like an L, so it cuts in between the adhesive and the glass on the underside of the glass. And push out, make sure I am actually disconnected, and I am. So time to remove this thing. And people think just because I'm like 4'6" that I can't do this type of work myself. I got this down pat. Y'all don't even know. You see that? I'm 4'6". This glass ain't nothing. I can do it in my sleep, I promise. So remove the glass. This is what your vehicle, well, your Toyota RAV4 would look like without a glass. Now I'm using what is called a long blade to trim down the rest of the old adhesive that had bonded with the glass. You want to trim this down as low as you can, because when you apply your new adhesive, if it's not the old one, if it's not trim low, it could create like a small gap, and it might just look a little weird. A lot of customers would not like that, and a lot of people would deem that as a unprofessional look. So you want everything to be exactly the same. So you trim this down. As you can see, I'm being very careful so I do not cut into that pillar, and I'm just cutting or trimming down the adhesive. You got to work your way all the way around. Sometimes the bottom is thicker than the top depending on if it was replaced before or not. This one looks pretty factory, so it's pretty simple. If you can see how my hand just jerked a little bit, there are plastic clips sometimes at the top corners of the glass. And you could cut through the plastic, just takes a little bit of force. And all that is I'm pulling off is just the old adhesive that kept the glass in. After you get it all removed, take it and dispose of it. Come back and wipe down any kind of dry debris. So any dirt, dust, whatever, I wipe that first, and then I come back and spray it down with a little bit of just glass cleaner or water, just to get any excess off. So I wipe it off dry first, then spray, and then wipe again. You just want to make sure that the surface area that you're going to apply your new urethane to, your new adhesive, make sure that area is very clean, because if it's enough dirt, it can cause the adhesive not to stick, and then you'll have a water leak later on when it rains or customer takes it to a car wash. Now here I am laying down my new adhesive. Technicians like to say this is running a bead, creating a bead line, but it is the adhesive known as urethane that holds the windshield in. I typically start at the bottom and then I will go to the top. You also want to keep a straight line as best as you possibly can. If you can have a line that's wavy, however, if it's wavy at one point or another, it could be lower than other points, and if it does not make a good connection, once again, you will have a upset customer because water will get in there. Now I'm working my way to the top, and I like to come down to the sides. And I stop to readjust my arms. Then I run it on down. They do have different speed adjustments that you can do. I typically don't run mine, but so fast. And if you can see these points where I am starting and stopping at, later on, I blend those together. I'll show that in here in a little bit. I don't run just to the point where I stopped at. I run past it just to make sure. Now this is me blending those parts that I started and stopped at, just to make sure that they are touching, they're blended together, so when I put the glass in, I can be ensured that there is no holes, gaps of space, or anything like that. Let's go 4-9, baby. They act like I can't do this. You feel me? Big glass, little glass, I do it all. You heard. No. So boom. All right. I don't have a setting tool. There are tools that you can buy to help you set. They are rather on the expensive side. So for as of right now, I just use my hands. I do it does strain your back, but as you can kind of see, if you want to rewind it, I use my hip to help me balance the glass. It's not just all my arms, not all my back. I use my hip as well. And then I come and make my adjustments just to make sure everything is sitting in its right place. Once I feel like it's in its good place, and a good way to check is looking at that VIN number. If the VIN number lines up perfectly in the window, you're pretty much perfect. Then I press down to make sure that I do have a nice contact between my glass and my adhesive. And then same thing on the other side, making adjustments, slight adjustment here or there. Press down on the adhesive, just to make sure that the bond is good. Put these wipers down here, and those side pieces that I took off, I'm getting ready to pop those back on. It's a lot easier if you actually lift the hood up to put those back on. For the Toyota RAV4, the pieces, the side pillars that you see me putting on, they snap in at the bottom, and you can't see it from this angle, but there's also like a small plastic side on the top of the molding that snaps in. That was the passenger side. We are doing the driver side now. Sometimes you do have to tussle with them because some of them have plastic pieces, some of them have rubber pieces that snap in. So right here, I forgot I was recording, but all I'm doing here is I'm going in there and I'm reattaching the camera bracket that I took off. So the camera locking piece, all that stuff, the mirror bracket itself, and the mirror. And that's pretty much it, man. Get in there, give it a good wipe down, make everything look nice and clean for your customer. I usually, start inside, then work myself outside, but it truly does not matter, as long as everything looks nice for them. Getting there, Mr. Miyagi style. Wax on, wax off. That white sticker that you see is from the vendor that I bought the glass from. That's just how they label the part. Typically I will remove that with a small razor blade. I come behind the adhesive part. Once I got a little bit of it up, as you can see, I will start rolling it off, and usually they come off super easy. And then just to scrub that excess adhesive off. And give it a good wipe down. How little Boosie say, wipe my down. As to the left, as to the right, as to the right, as to the left. Same thing. Just wipe me down. Once you have everything wiped down, that is it. That is a Toyota RAV4 installation for you guys. I will have a lot more content.